Most self-published authors write scenes. They rarely architect them. And here is where that costs them. A reader stops mid-chapter and never comes back. The instinct is to blame the prose, the sentences, the pacing. It is almost never the prose. The scene simply failed to do the one thing a scene exists to do: earn the next one. This is structural. Not a problem with your talent, your ideas, or your voice. A problem with a framework you were never handed. So here is the framework in 3 parts. First, the 4 components inside every functioning scene. Second, the one component almost every writer leaves out, the one responsible for readers quitting. And third, how to run this as a diagnostic on a scene you have already written tonight. By the end, you will be able to look at a scene that flatlines and name exactly what is missing. Almost everything written about scenes teaches the same shape. A scene has a beginning, a middle, and an end. A small story inside the larger one. That is not wrong. It is incomplete. Beginning, middle, and end describes how a scene is arranged. It says nothing about whether the scene generates momentum, whether it hands the reader a reason to continue. A scene is not a container you fill with content. It is a structural unit with a job, and the job is not to be interesting. The job is to make the next scene necessary. Once you see a scene that way, the 4 components become obvious. Every functioning scene resolves 4 structural questions. Miss one, and the scene weakens in a specific, predictable way. Component 1, the entry point. The question it answers: what unresolved state does the reader step into? A scene should open on something already in motion, a tension already present, a question already live. When the entry point is missing, the scene opens flat. The reader has no reason to lean in because nothing is yet at stake. Component 2, the tension driver. The question: what want collides with what obstacle? This is the engine. A character wants something, and something stands in the way. Right now, inside this scene. When it is missing, the scene drifts. This is the scene readers describe as one where nothing happens. Component 3, the revelation moment. The question: what changes that cannot unchange? Something must shift. A fact surfaces. A relationship turns. A decision becomes irreversible. When it is missing, the scene is filler. The reader finishes in exactly the position they started, and they feel it. And component 4, the exit obligation. The question: what does this scene owe the next one? That one needs its own minute, because it is the one almost everyone leaves out. The first 3 components are taught in some form, almost everywhere. The 4th is the one that gets left out, and it is the one that decides whether your reader turns the page. Here is the distinction that matters. Most frameworks end a scene at resolution. The conflict settles, the moment lands, and then the scene is over. But resolution is not obligation. A scene can resolve cleanly and still owe the next scene nothing. The reader reaches the end, feels a small, complete satisfaction. And that satisfaction is exactly what gives them permission to put the book down. The exit obligation is the unfinished edge, the thread the scene deliberately leaves pulled loose. It is the difference between "that was a nice scene" and "I have to know what happens next." Structurally, every scene closes one small loop, the revelation, and opens a slightly larger one. That new loop is the obligation. It is what the next scene is required to answer. So when the exit obligation is missing, everything can look correct. Good entry, real tension, a genuine revelation. And the reader still stops, because the scene gave them a reason to feel finished instead of a reason to continue. That is why readers quit mid-chapter. Not because the scene was bad, because it was complete. Let me show you the difference on the same material. Here is a scene as most first drafts produce it. A character comes home. They are tired. They reflect on the day, pour a drink, go to bed. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It is arranged correctly, and it is structurally inert. No unresolved entry. No want against an obstacle. Nothing changes. Nothing is owed. Now the same beats, architected. The character comes home already carrying a decision they have been avoiding. That is your entry point. They pour the drink to delay it, and the delay itself becomes the obstacle, the tension driver. Mid-pour, they notice something that makes the decision unavoidable, the revelation. They go to bed having chosen, but the choice commits them to an action that has to happen tomorrow in the next scene. That is the exit obligation. Same events, same word count. One the reader drifts out of, the other they cannot leave. 4 questions: entry, tension, revelation, obligation. Run any scene you have written through them, and the weak component will name itself. I have built that into a workbook, the 4-part diagnostic, with the failure modes, so you can audit a scene in a single pass. It is in the pinned comment. And once you can architect a scene, you meet the next problem honestly. Your first draft is going to be structurally wrong, on purpose. That is supposed to happen, and it is the next thing worth understanding.